Bear top against Jayce, and we'll see. So Jayce can bully him in the early laning phases, and obviously if a sizable enough advantage is secured, then Jayce will continue to just bully him. For the remainder, the LeBlanc into the Syndra, this actually favors Syndra if you're proficient enough at the matchup. Taliyah, very good into Trundle. And then the Lovers duo down there in the bot lane, so it seems like Lehends and Viper are just going to try to take over, but they're walking into a counter matchup. So everything is really all over the place. It feels like this is entirely player-led on both sides, and they're just playing what they want to play.
Yeah. And that does sometimes happen, especially at the lower end of the table where, you know, the players won't have as deep of champion pools, and they'll feel comfortable mostly on, you know, 2 or 3, or a certain style of champion that may not mesh well together with the rest of his teammates. And, I mean, we're seeing it in effect right now. Curious to see if Lava's going to pilot the Syndra to a extremely high level in this one up against the LeBlanc, see if he can actually win the matchup, as looks like we're ready to jump into game 2 right now. Let's do it.
Well, at this point, we're just going to have pretty defensive openings by both parties. It's just a 5-point spread for the most part. CuVee going press the attack here against Rich on Jayce. A little bit surprising. I think that Volibear has many different rune choices, and in the Jayce matchup in particular, Aftershock and Phase Rush are both two really strong options. The press the attack is a little bit awkward because it's hard to really get onto Jayce without gank assistance, and when you do, typically you're not on him for long. And so maybe CuVee is taking the press the attack for his teammates in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, definitely could be. I was getting in a you know, quick pit stop. I had an equipment change, as my mic was a little bit out of whack, but we got it all fixed now. That's good. Thank you for holding on and being the lone survivor of the caster for just a moment once again.
Yeah, not a big deal. Not a big deal.
You're becoming more and more experienced at this.
And so right now Rich is trying to poke out CuVee, trying to zone him from whatever CS he possibly can. Will make him miss 1. And CuVee does have the Doron shield. So again, we'll see how Rich manages to play this lane out. Everything else is pretty standard for the most part. We'll see what Haru can try to find for his team in terms of ganks. GuGer missing the Justice Punch, as Wave 2 is just going to be crashed in beyond. Oh, man.
Yeah, Haru's going to have a okay, nice seismic shove. He's still got Pillar, though, and the red buff is hitting him. Red buff does get that little bit of a slowdown, but it's not quite going to kill the Taliyah at the end of that trade.
Yeah, the issue here is that clearly Beyond is aware of what's going on. Haru just really, really slow on trying to do his camps, and even though he has the smite available, the threshold just not there enough, and now flash for flash, and Beyond's just gonna take Haru's entire jungle.
Yeah, Haru is like, you know, he puts down the ping, but he's saying, okay, maybe we can come over here and help me out a little bit. I'm not really sure exactly what this Taliyah is going to do. Really rough spot. He's like waiting to pick up the scraps. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. That feels real bad.
Yeah. And you can see the question mark ping saying that maybe there would be I mean, he's missing everything.
Yeah.
He's taking so much damage.
Definitely struggling.
From Raptors, too. I mean, he might just be tilted into oblivion. I'm not totally sure.
I know when that happens to me in solo queue.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a pro, but like that is one of the most tilting things. When you get invaded and you just lose your whole jungle.
Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, especially on a champion like Taliyah, who struggles a little bit before she gets her jungle item for the clear.
Yeah.
And then once you get it, it feels so much better. You're just put so far behind, and it's not like you're going to have a big impact on the lanes for quite a while, so.
It's going to be very hard for Haru to really do anything here. I mean, he's pretty much at this point, as is. Everyone is playing with map hacks against him. And with the lanes being the way that they are, things are definitely going to be very awkward. Also, Lava stifling his build a little bit with the double Doran's ring and the Amp Tome. Kuzan obviously taking the more economic route. And Beyond is already back to his respawn camps. Meanwhile, up in top lane, interestingly enough, Rich only getting a double longsword recall. And the wave's frozen with his jungler on that side. You also know that Taliyah's camps are respawning on the top, so I'm not totally sure why he would unlock the wave rather than just freeze it. Especially because level 6 is still ways away.
Oh, this is it's real awkward. Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, at least he's going to scan the ward. Beyond throws us the thumbs up at the same time. Says, that's all good.
Yeah.
Says, okay.
And CuVee, though, I mean, Rich is not doing that good of a job at exerting a lot of pressure over Volibear, and so even though CuVee is falling behind in CS, it's definitely not the end of the world by any means. Everything is pretty standard all around.
That Volibear skin was pretty cool, by the way.
Do you like it? Really?
He looks very purple.
Did you ever see, I talked about this with Atlas, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village?
Yeah, I did actually.
So if that skin had a yellow chroma, he would be the monster.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does it not have any chromas?
There's no chromas. It's, let me check out the name of this skin. I think it's Thousand Eyes Pierce?
Why doesn't every skin have chromas?
Okay, listen.
It feels like that's, I don't know, you know, to be honest, kind of just like money sitting on the table, right? And also to give everybody their kind of customization that they want, right?
Yeah,
it's any color.
It's called Thousand Pierced. Now, I'm not sure.
Thousand Pierced.
Yeah, that's the name of the skin. Thousand Pierced. Now, you might be wondering, and I definitely hear the curiosity and wonder in your voice. Thousand Pierced what, LS? And honestly, Valdez, Thousand Pierced drafts is what made Volibear look as tormented as he does currently.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit sad. Is that what's going to happen to you eventually? Like, you see 1,000 Pierced drafts and then you turn into Volibear, or?
Looking at my future self, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tormented LS. You just turn into a League of Legends character.
True.
Imagine how cool it would be to have a character based off of you, though. That would be pretty cool. Well, I guess we already do have one. You have set. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You are literally set.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly fair that you already have your champion, but apparently it already exists for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can't say the same for everyone.
Well.
Wow. Wish we could zoom out this far while we're playing.
You have a champion of your own.
Do I?
Yeah. Heimerdinger.
Thanks.
It's a big brain.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, just like me.
Yeah.
I identify as a Heimerdinger. Sounds so weird. I don't know, maybe not. Seen a lot of pings here around this Rift Herald. Lava is able to somehow shut that down. They're trying to burst down deokdam here, and he is going to actually bite the dust. We also have TP coming in. Okay. Lehends says, actually, never mind. And the stun is going to come down. One more auto, couple? No, it is going to be enough. And he does pick up the kill at the end of the day. And a very proactive Hanwha Life there is able to pick up a couple of kills in the bottom lane.
They get themselves on the board. A very much needed time. Beyond does pick up the Rift Herald, and we'll see what he ends up doing with it. As, yeah, it's really hard for Volibear to do anything. Because whenever Jayce just does the transform, his movement speed is high enough to actually run away from Volibear. And also, I don't know if CuVee is actually maxing Q. You should max Q in this matchup. And this is another reason why...
Well...
Phase Rush.
Gonna take aggro, and he gets away. Beyond, though, is able to survive himself as Manaless Taliyah with red buff, who's so far behind, is not able to do too much against the Jayce, who is a little bit scary with that serrated Dirk.
Yeah. And so, very curious what is going on. Honestly, he's building Triforce. This is a loss to Shopkeeper. So with Jayce, Trundle, and Kalista, you get so much value out of Thornmail. And so just getting the Bramble Vest early, such high impact. So here in this replay, I mean, this is just a bread and butter execution. On to GuGer and deokdam. Lava comes in, uses his ultimate right away, and then follows up with the stun, but GuGer flashing in a bit of a peculiar manner. But yeah, I mean, you go back up into top lane, and you see the Ninja Tabi, you see the Doron shield, and if you get Bramble Vest, your sustain in lane against Jayce is so much better. But also the value, even against Trundle. But it looks like he just wants to power right into Trinity Force, and I know that in Korea right now especially, everyone is seemingly divided on Volibear itemization.
Yeah. It's still up for debate, I suppose. Everybody's still trying to figure it out. It's still very early on for this champion. So we'll have to wait and see what the eventual accepted couple of builds will be. We do have Taliyah here. Haru is going to start up the Ocean Drake. And bottom lane a little bit zoned away from this one. Even the middle side having a little bit of trouble getting in there. They might want to take a fight afterwards, as they're not able to deny.
I mean, Kuzan has no mana, so quite literally 0 mana. As Rich is gonna shove in yet another wave, maybe look to get a turret plate here. And CuVee not wanting to actually invest his teleport. And so this is going to mean that 2 turret plates go down, and CuVee is going to miss a cannon.
Why didn't he TP? I mean, I guess he really wants to be there for the Infernal Drake. But he's losing so much individually up in the top side.
Yeah,
and beating Rich. Okay. Maybe he wanted to freeze.
Now, well, Volibear has a really hard time freezing, but Volibear also has some tools to freeze, like he can cast the E at the very edge of the wall and then just get the shield and stand still, and then use the E's shield to drop his passive, and then go back to freezing. And so it's mostly about juggling his E shield, and then
you still found a way, though.
Huh?
You still found a way.
There's definitely ways to freeze on Voli. Just requires a little bit of creativity. But instead of that, we're actually just going to shove it into Jayce. Now, with how far Jayce is ahead right now, is if he just took that wave and froze, Volibear would be out of the game. He would have to run places that he can't do anything. He's already down a level and a half. Jayce has Black Cleaver. Volibear's building Trinity Force while behind. Lost to Shopkeeper. Honestly, I really have to hit up the Shopkeeper. I gotta figure out how they manage to convince people into these deals so often. Well, it really is spectacular.
You gotta make your items very convoluted and hard to understand. Although, as I'm saying that, I'm like, it's not actually that difficult. I feel like just most people don't pay attention to it as an important part of the game. Whereas something that you definitely focus on a little bit more, especially compared to pro gamers who I think are mostly focused on their gameplay, which, you know, for better or for worse.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening. So the way that I'm imagining these team fights is everyone on Hanwha Life is so squishy now. And even Volibear, once he completes the Trinity Force, he's going to be about half to maybe even 3/4 of an item behind. He's going to run into the team fight, get subjugated, be even less tanky than he already is. He's really struggling. He's going to press the R, and it's going to be like cannonballing into a pool, but no one really likes your cannonball.
Oh,
you know,
that's
those
the worst.
ones? Those are really the worst. Like you miss the floaty that you tried to land on.
Nobody's enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah.
Flop over the other side.
Exactly. I'm glad you get me. No.
Not very impressive at all. Everybody kind of just stares at you. It's definitely it's kind of a Pepe Hands moment whenever that happens. I always feel bad. But now, so instead of freezing and trying to set up a gank, we are pushing and trying to set up a gank.
Yes.
And yeah, you see what I'm saying, Pipette? No, maybe I suppose maybe they're trying to get on top of this Rift Heralds, but I don't know if that's realistic.
It's a post-plate Herald, so it's not super high priority. And the surprising thing is that Dynamics, I mean, they're ahead right now, and you can see that Rich has to, okay!
Trying to set it up, but Flash will do the trick. And how about a follow-up here? They're trying to get in on there, as the ult is going to come out here from the Volibear.
It's still a victory, though. They get Volibear's ultimate out right before the Infernal Dragon. And so CuVee will not have that available. Viper trying to get something accomplished, not going to be able to. Beyond trying to pick up the Rift Herald before this Infernal Drake.
Yeah. Should be pretty good timing. They're trying to turn this one around, though, onto Rich once again, but here's Beyond. That's a double knockup, but does it matter? As Taliyah, she's got that one burst combo, but if you don't have enough...
Oh, Lava is so lucky that the chain missed.
He could have been flash followed and just died. At the end of that one, could have been a nice 2 for 0 in favor of Team Dynamics.
And Black Cleaver Yumu's already completed for Jayce. He's level 12. Is CuVee still 10?
Can't actually see.
Yeah.
He's dead, but no, he's 11.
He's 11.
Okay.
And Beyond is here now.
I don't think that Team Dynamics should let them have this here, but...
No, I mean, Dynamics are very favored in this team fight.
Okay, very, the is going to come in as they're trying to roll here onto deokdam, but he doesn't jump on the left side of the wall because that would have meant his death. And so the wall doesn't do much, as actually a nice couple of poking gets in there. Big distortion from Kuzan for the follow-up to take out that extremely squishy bear. That's basically like a teddy bear right now. Not very ferocious, IMO. And that is going to mean the Infernal that, again, they were very favored coming into this one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, lots of XP lost in the top lane.
Yeah, and I really like the Observer for constantly zoning in on this. And this is another, I mean, the Jayce versus Volibear matchup, with how Rich played it, it actually could have been a lot better for CuVee. But it still doesn't change the point that you shouldn't blind pick this champion. He's not blind pick worthy, not even really pick worthy most of the time, to be super frank. I mean, we have yet to see him in the jungle in support. I'm actually more surprised that Hanwha Life wouldn't try to experiment with that. And, I mean, he just gets annihilated here.
Yeah. Look at how sad Taliyah is.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel very good in
And
this
then right here, yet again, Leroy Jenkins gets exhausted, doesn't really have anything to do. He just doesn't deal damage, and he's never going to get sustained damage here.
Watch him get popped by a balloon.
Yeah.
Here.
Really good pillar.
Yeah.
By Beyond.
deokdam says, get over here, GuGer. GuGer's like, why? And the Fate's Call kind of wasted there. Okay. Everything's going to be wasted there as well. Lava is not going to be able to land the stun, and they cannot follow up with a potential kill onto the Jayce. who is a bit squishy himself. Had he landed that, I think maybe they could have gotten him with no flash on the Jayce right now, but he took a risk. It did not pay off.
Well, dynamics now just slowly accruing more and more map control. Still so many jungle camps up, by the way, for Beyond. Very, very surprising. As the game continues to move on, though, things are only going to get worse for Hanwha Life. Next Infernal Dragon should also be slated to go to Dynamics, and that is a very big problem. For Hanwha Life.
Infernal for LeBlanc Jayce is pretty hilarious.
Yep.
And they have no tanks on their team. Like, not even one.
Volibear was supposed to be a tank.
Yeah, he's supposed to, but he's not.
He's going for the 20-minute Triforce.
Is Rakan more tanky than Volibear right now? Yes. That, tells you a lot about our current scenario. I mean,
the icing on the cake would be if Volibear goes Bramble Vest now, after Triforce.
Well, he doesn't have enough money, so we're not even gonna get to see that just yet.
2 minutes until that Infernal comes up. Banshee's Veil going to be the next item for Kuzan. Trying to do some smoke and mirrors here to take out the blue, as Haru and Lehends do not seemingly want to give up the Scuttle. They're going to end up picking that up for themselves. And you can see right now Lava shadowing CuVee. As Kuzan just going to clear out a bit of vision. Everyone from Hanwha Life.
Well, let's see who wins this fight. He's trying to bait him in for the Syndra. Not quite able to lock him down, though. He's going to get that bit of a slow. Here comes the Syndra. The stun is going to miss again, and the ult does not pick him off. As Lava is just not really able to land a lot of these very crucial combos that you need on the Syndra in times where they need to find something like picks such as that to come back in this game.
They end up blowing CuVee's flash, and so we won't have that again. And I mean, Volibear is so reliant on stuff like this. He also uses his ultimate. I mean, it's champion, And also, I mean, the really weird thing is I don't know how Lava misses this, because Jayce at several points was a stationary target in the whole trade sequence. So definitely a very, very off game on the Syndra. As Rich is now looking to try to raise this turret. Here we go, TP in from behind. This should be it.
Pillar is actually going to go in front. They're just hanging up as Beyond is going to get ulted. He gets away. After all of that, as Kuzan says, I'd like to get in there and do a little bit big, nice three-man knockup as the Galio is frontlining. And that is just going to be 3 kills for 0 so far. Not going to follow under that turret. They've already got so much after that play. Big follow-up from Team Dynamics as nothing seems to go right for Hanwha Life.
Saved him. Which is, I mean, wait for the replay. As I'm sure many people are eager to see it again. It is now a 4,000 gold lead. Actually, a little bit more than a 4,000 gold lead. Double Infernal, threatening Infernal Soul now. Just take a look at this. So, Rich goes in, gets stunned. CuVee turning around for no reason. He had Rakan coming in. Even if he takes damage, it doesn't matter. The Taliyah wall bumps him even further to the left. Everything is just a disaster. But, I mean, CuVee turning around instead of kiting into Jayce. I just have no idea.
This is a pretty combo. We've seen this one before.
Allergic to the grass, I guess. I'm not sure. As the Kalista sending in the Galio, multi-man taunt, very easy cleanup, and Dynamics are just light years ahead now.
Yeah. This Teddy Bear is a little bit more accustomed to the bed sheets rather than the Rift, is what I'm seeing. He looks very fluffy.
The other thing,
not very threatening.
by the way, at this point is Haru. He built an Oblivion Orb.
Oh, I think he's just dead.
Yeah, totally fine.
He had to flash too.
Well, he can go back to the fountain and think about his item choices here, as he built Oblivion when the opponents had all MR. So
yeah, every single
the Amp Tome should just go towards then a Blasting Wand and then a Void Staff, which is very surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like nothing really is going right for this team so far in summer.
Game number 1 and game number 2 started off really slow. Everything conducts itself pretty normally. Beyond had a phenomenal jungle start here over Haru. And then Hanwha Life were really playing with a bit of a disadvantage up in top lane. And then the follow-up is that because of the matchup dynamic, Viper and Lehends could not really manage to achieve anything meaningful and never really come online. So a lot of difficulty here in this game.
It's like, I think I got him, and then a very elated, nice from Kuzan. He definitely feels like the carry of this team to me, by the way, just watching more of team dynamics. Because, you know, the game right now, to be honest, there's not too many interesting things to talk about. It kind of just feels like Hanwha Life are getting crushed, so I don't really want to harp on it too much, but for team dynamics, it does feel like Kuzan is kind of reaching a new level. It's like he went into the hyperbolic time chamber that is Challengers Korea, of course, the best tournament in the world, and he has come out looking really, really strong. Very consistent, plays a much wider champion pool than he used to. He used to be like Lucian, LeBlanc, Karma, pretty much. Now he plays a bit more, right? He can play the Azir. We already saw a really amazing Azir in the last game. So I'm really excited about this player, and the team seems to really build around him and support his play style. And they seem to have really good communication too, so they have a lot of potential in the LCK for sure.
Well, Dynamics are really, really continuing to cement the fact that they might be the 5th or even 4th, realistically, strongest team here. Definitely looking like a clean 5th.
Team Dynamics?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be their 4th series.
Judging the power level of all the teams that have played thus far.
Yeah, it does feel like 4th to 6th is probably where I'd go. It depends on, you know, it's hard to put them at 4th, though, because of T1 Zenji, DRX, and now Damwon.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty strong. They're probably 5th,
yeah,
I'd say, right now.
5th is safe, I think, to say.
We need to see them against Afrika again. We already did see that. Afrika took that series. But, you know, still a new team to the LCK. We're getting the big zoom in on the teddy bear. Again, not very threatening.
And the Infernal Soul's up in 6 seconds. I mean, Viper's just going top lane. They're not even going to bother fighting over it. There's really no hope. This is 3 Infernal Dragon amplification. And in addition to that now, the Soul. So LeBlanc just got 4 AD and 11 AP off this last dragon.
Yeah.
So
he's on a ward there.
Couple hundred gold worth of stats just off of that alone.
Not to mention the
active.
The active
of the Soul. Yep.
I guess it's not an active, but it's like a
proc.
Yeah, a proc. I guess
passive.
It's not a passive either. I think it's a proc. I think you hit the nail on the head there. So we do have the Baron available with Team Dynamics miles ahead. Lehends, he likes to go for his cute little flank plays. We've seen it a lot actually on Rakans in the past. We saw it from him in Game 1 on Nautilus. Not to the greatest of effects based on the game state, but it's still the kind of play style that he likes to go for, as Because that time, Kuzan actually fell flat on his face with that engage. And deokdam's just soloing it.
Yeah, deokdam seems like he's actually able to do this. How many,
He needs a little bit of help.
34, alright.
You can see it down there in the bottom left. Okay, the engage comes in for the turn as Lehends gets a very nice engage, but it just doesn't matter. There is zero follow-up from the side of Hanwha Life as they're just getting smoked down by the Trundle and by the entire enemy team. As Lava, really nice pillar there. That's going to be the end of this one, guys.
Yep, and they have the minion wave in mid.
Yeah, not very close, unfortunately. But Team Dynamics looking pretty strong coming into yet another series. They're going to shut down Hanwha Life Esports in a clean 2-0 in very methodical fashion. GG, down goes the Nexus. And they will move up.